Hey everyone, it's Megan, and pardon my crazy hair. I just got out of the shower, but I thought that I would film this video today because I had a really sweet request from one of my subscribers yesterday on my video, and she was asking if I could do a video or videos about my high school experience, my college experience, advice for both, and then also life lessons that I've learned. And I'm going to do several videos on these topics over the next week or two, and today is going to be my life lessons. And there's so many things that I've learned through life, and I've made so many mistakes, and I know we all make a lot of mistakes. No one is perfect, and if you're perfect, give me a shout out, because maybe someone is perfect out there, but I really doubt it. And I'm the first to admit that I am far, far, far from perfect, and I have learned a lot from all of the mistakes that I've made, and I am really touched that someone asked me to film this for you guys and for her, and just to talk about things that I've learned throughout life. And I know I have so many more subscribers than I did this time last year, but this time last year, if you notice, I'm sure you do, all of those frames behind me, they each contain one life lesson that I've learned, and I did that project last summer and I love it. I think it grounds me so much, and I'm so happy that I did it because it's been really great at reminding me about things that you forget from day to day, and I just love it, and it's in the back of all my videos, so I'm sure you guys have noticed it. So what I did is I just took a picture of each one of my life lessons, and I'm going to talk about each one, and I'll probably have stories for all of them, so I'm sure this video is going to be extremely long. So feel free to pause it and check back the next day to continue watching, or just grab a cup of coffee, glass of wine or something, and just listen to me babble about my life, because I think this will also be a really great way for me to document things. And last night I was watching old videos that I had made my friends, and it was from when I started college until last fall or something. And it was really awesome and hilarious and eye-opening. So I was just sort of in this reflective mood, and when my subscriber asked me to do this, I thought it was the perfect time. So I am just going to jump right in. I think I have 23 life lessons, and I hope you guys enjoy this, and please leave advice, and if you have any reflection on stuff that I talk about, leave it in a comment, tweet me, stuff like that, you know the drill. But anyways, my first life lesson, and they're not in any order, I just took pictures of all of them, is there is a reason for everything. Everything has a purpose. And I think that is a really good one to start with, because sometimes it's hard to wrap your mind around certain things, and you wonder, why is this happening to me? Most especially when it's something bad. But everything that happens in your life, and that has happened in my life, has there's been a reason for it, and I find out the reason later on, and it'll either when this video is gonna be long because I'm gonna babble. When I dated my last boyfriend, it basically almost ruined one of my friendships with my very best friend Jacob, and I really regret that happened. But now our friendship is so strong, and I know that there was a reason that we went through that horrible time, because now our friendship is so strong. We're like family, and it just seems like things will never get better, but they always do. And everything, even if you're going through something really, really hard right now, it will have a purpose, and you will be stronger and a better person after it happens. So if you're going through something really hard, and all of us go through really shitty things, and we don't understand why they're happening to us, but it is for a reason, and you will be better because of it. Okay, that also leads into another life lesson, which is things will fall into place. And that's basically sort of the same idea, that if things are not going the way you thought they would, if you didn't get into your dream school, if you didn't get the job you need, if you're really struggling, things will fall into place. And even when you feel like you're at total rock bottom, things will happen and they will fall into place, and there is like a puzzle to your life, and even if you're missing one piece, that piece will be put back in and everything will work out. And it's sort of like Candy Crush, like everything like falls into place and then it all is good in the end as long as you pass the level. Why am I doing a Candy Crush analogy? I have no idea. But things will always fall into place, and like I said, with everything happens for a reason. There is a purpose to what you're going through, and you usually don't see it, but you will, and things will always be like, there will be a happy ending is basically what things will fall into place means. Okay, let's see, what's the next one? Closure is important. Closure is something that I really struggle with, and I think that a lot of people do. It's not something that we really like to have to deal with, and closure can be from a friendship that ended, from moving far away from someone you love, or it can be from if someone passes away that you were really close to. And closure is so important because you can't move on unless there is closure. And basically how I think about it is the door was open and closure sort of closes the door gently and you can keep moving on to the next door. And like I said, I struggle with closure and I'm not very good at it, and that's why I put on my life lessons that closure is important, because you don't want to have all these like loose ends from if you had a bad breakup or you had a bad ending to a friendship. You don't want that to be just like left loose, and you sort of want to tie those loose ends, have closure, and then you can move on. And I am not perfect at doing that, and that's something I have to continue to work on in my friendships and in relationships and stuff, but it's definitely something that I've learned that it is really important to both people in the relationship or friendship or anything, and it will cause you both to be much, like, it'll make the transition from being together to not being together, it'll be a little bit easier. So closure is definitely important, and yeah, it's hard though, so I don't know all the like tricks and stuff to make it easier because I struggle with it as well. Okay, so this next life lesson is something that I learned in my last relationship, and it is don't settle for anyone, don't change for anyone. And that seems pretty like harsh and selfish sounding, but it's actually something that it took me a really long time to come to that realization. It actually took me until after my last relationship was over to realize this. What I mean by don't change for anyone is sometimes we change who we are when we're with people, like not really drastically or anything, but okay, I'm a really like hyper funny, I hope I'm funny at least, like happy, just smiley, laughative, jokey person, and my last relationship I was like so mellow, so unlike myself, and I'm also really like sort of tense and high-strung and stuff, and in that relationship I was just like weirdly mellow and not myself, and I really am not happy that I was like that, and I really don't want to make that mistake again. So that's what I mean by don't change for anyone, because just because someone seems like they're really great for you and really perfect, they might not bring out the best in you, and you might be changing in ways that you don't really see at the moment, but when you're out of the situation you see that and you don't really like who you were. And also don't settle for anyone, don't like just go for whoever is just there. Like, wait for someone, this is both in relationships and in friendships, wait for someone to come along that is really compatible with you and that you actually like, not just someone that you're like, okay, whatever, like I'll just go with you or something. I've never actually done that, but I'm sure that that has crossed some people's minds, and just don't settle for anyone that isn't the best, and definitely don't change your personality or who you are to please someone else or to always cater to them, because they should really cater to you, and it should be a two-way street, not just one way. So I learned that the hard way, and I don't want you guys to go through that, because it really, really sucks, especially when you come to the realization that that was actually what was happening. Okay, so here's a good one. Mistakes happen. It's okay as long as you learn from them. And like I said, I've made so many, countless mistakes, and I hope that I really learned from every single one of them. It's hard to know if I actually did. And like I said, I really try to work on them, but I'm not like 100% at all of them, and I will definitely make mistakes in the future. And yeah, I'm definitely not perfect, but mistakes happen. We all make mistakes, and some of us make big mistakes, and we all have big mistakes in different facets of life. And I make a lot of mistakes, unfortunately, with like friendships, relationships, stuff like that. And it's really, really not fun, especially when you hurt someone else. But what you have to do is just like be okay with it. Don't be so hard on yourself if you make a mistake, because going back to the first two, everything happens for a reason and things will fall into place. So even if you royally screw up something, which I have, it works out. And if it's meant to be, like if your friendship or your relationship or the job you want or like anything, if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And don't beat yourself over like a mistake, even if it was a huge mistake, because it'll be okay and you will learn from that. I promise you, you really, really will. So mistakes are okay because we all make them, and yeah, it'll be okay. Okay, the next one is be yourself, be genuine. And I like going back to the don't change for anyone thing. After that relationship, I really tried to be extremely genuine and true to myself in everything. Like when I started my new job, I was really genuine, and being genuine doesn't mean that you have to be like super overly nice, because that's usually not being genuine. You just have to be yourself, and we all have different personalities. We will clash with certain people, and that cannot be avoided. Not everyone will like you, and not everyone likes me. Trust me, not everyone likes me. And you just have to like be okay with that. And when you get older, it's easier to understand that, and I will probably talk about that in my high school advice like experience video. But you just have to be yourself, and you really have to love yourself and be okay with who you are, and that definitely takes time, and it's hard to do that when you're younger. But I think as you grow up and you have different experiences, you really start to understand who you are, and you like will appreciate certain things about yourself, and you will really hate some things about yourself. But you just have to like face the facts. You are who you are, and you should love yourself, because if you are yourself and you're genuine to people that you meet and stuff, they will like you for who you are, and that's so much better than them liking you for who you pretend to be. And that is what I've never really understood with dating, especially like when you start dating, is when people like make stuff up about themselves or just say what the other person wants to hear. Don't do that like in any situation, especially dating, because they're gonna find out that you're not the person that you said that you were, and you should have just been yourself from the beginning, because then you wouldn't have to fake it, and then you don't have to be disappointed if they don't like the person that you pretended to be. Like it's okay if the person doesn't like you for who you really are, because then you can be like, okay, I tried that path and they didn't work out, but I'll just be myself for the next person, and we'll see if they like me for who I really am. And that's something that's really, really important to me, and I wish that it was really important to everyone, because it doesn't seem like it really is. But to me, it's super, super important to be genuine and to be yourself, and that is definitely something that I learned earlier early on in my life because I have a very strong personality and it's not always like people's cup of tea. So you just have to be yourself and say goodbye to the people that don't really like you because they don't really matter in the end anyhow. So there's that Dr. Seuss quote, those who mind don't matter and those who matter don't mind. And I love that. I think that's so true, and it really goes along with just being yourself and being genuine. So that's probably one of my favorite life lessons because, I don't know, I've always believed in that and I really, really strongly believe in it. So if you take anything from this video, take that one because I really strongly believe in it, as I do with all of these, but that one is really close to my heart. Okay, this one is sort of like some other ones that I've talked about. Things always get better. Even if you're down in the dumps and it is a horrible, horrible time, things do get better. And this is hard for me to talk about, but when I was younger, like in middle school and high school, in the like 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th grades, I was really, really depressed, and I never thought that things would be better than they were at that moment. And so I was like on the verge of being suicidal, and I just like feel so much pain for people that go through that now because I understand how they felt. And it's just really important to me to tell people that things do get better even if it seems like they never will, because you are worth so much, and there's just so much in life, and the position that you're in right now, even if you think that you'll never like be happy again, you really will, and things get better. And like I said, all of the things that we go through in our life happen for a reason, and I just really strongly believe in that. And I hope that you guys, if you're going through something really tough, that you talk to someone about it. And I don't have that on my life lessons wall, but this is something that I have a hard time with, is talking to people when I'm upset or I'm depressed or I'm mad or anything. I just don't really like to open up, and I find opening up really, really difficult, and I really envy people that can like talk to anyone about their problems or stuff like that, because I can't do that, and I don't really know why, but I can. And I really have to push myself to talk to people even if they're really close to me. But if you are ever in a bad situation, never think that you can't talk to someone, even if it's someone online, even if it's me, even if it's like someone on Twitter. Like, it doesn't matter, just talk to someone, because talking about it will always help. Don't listen to people that say, oh, I don't want to listen to you. Find someone else and talk to them, because those people that don't want to listen don't really care about you and about your well-being, but there are people in your life that do care. And never think that you're alone, because that's how I felt, and I was so wrong in thinking that, because I had so many people around me that really cared for me, but because I didn't open up to them, I felt like they weren't listening, but that was because I wasn't talking to them and telling them about my problems. So you do have to take it upon yourself to open up to people, and really trust. And I'm sure that's hard for a lot of people, because it's really hard for me, and I've met people that it's hard for them as well. But yeah, just things will get better. Things always get better. And if you're in a really bad situation right now, just talk to someone, and they will hopefully bring you out of that situation, and you will be so much stronger, and then you will know that someone really, really, truly cares about you and loves you, because there are people in your life that do, trust me. So that's one that I really like as well. Things always get better, like I talked about before. So that one's really important. Okay, whatever is bothering you right now is not the end of the world. Think about the big picture. And I basically think that everything that happens is the end of the world. I'm extremely dramatic. I'm very like, I'm either extremely sad, extremely mad, extremely happy, extremely whatever. Like, I am just at the extremes, and when things go wrong, I feel like the world is ending and it's just really a miserable time. But when I went to therapy, I guess that was 2011, my therapist told me that, well, the one thing that I really took out of my therapy sessions was that she told me to think about the big picture. And she said, like, not to just dwell on the small situation, but think about like your life in general. And that sort of goes into my first life lesson that I talked about, which is like everything has a purpose and stuff. So just think about the big picture and it will seem really not as bad, whatever you're going through, because if you just look at like the small situation, it seems huge. Like, it seems like it is the worst thing that's ever happened. But if you look at the big picture of your life, the horrible things that have happened, they're usually like not as bad when you are looking at your life in general. I'm not really sure how to explain it well, but I just think that it's helped me to remind myself to think about the big picture and to know that if I got into a huge fight with someone or anything like that, I just know that it'll work out and things will fall into place and things will get better. And all these life lessons sort of tie into each other. But definitely think about the big picture if you're going through anything bad, because hopefully that'll help you, as opposed to just like thinking about the really like specific situation. Just think about the big picture. And also, speaking of when I went to therapy, this also isn't on my life lessons, but it's okay to ask for help. And like how I said that I really find it hard to open up to people, I also find it really hard to ask people for help. And that is like in all aspects of my life, not just like for personal advice. It's also like if I'm having trouble in school, or if I'm like, I don't know, if I'm struggling in any way, I find it really hard to ask people for help, because in my mind it seems like I am weak and I am sort of a failure if I need to ask people for help. But that is so not the case, and I really struggle with that still. It's like ingrained in me that that is how I feel, and that's like my natural instinct to think that. But that's really not how it is. If you ask for help, you will, first of all, you will feel better because you're getting help. And if you need to go to therapy and you choose to go to therapy, you will feel so much better. And if you are really struggling in your classes and you ask for a tutor, or you ask for like extra hours or something with your professor, you will feel so much better and you will also be more successful. But even more than that, to ask for help shows that you have a lot of strength. And that's something that was really hard for me to wrap my mind around. But it's so true to admit that you have like a fault, or that you are not perfect at something in your life, and to ask for help is a really strong thing to do. And I really commend people that are able to do that on a regular basis, or like whenever they need help, because that's something that I find really difficult. And I think that it takes a really strong person that really is very comfortable with themselves and they can ask for help. So if you need help in any way, please ask for it, because like I said, there's people in your life that first of all love you and care about you unconditionally, but also if you ask for help, you are meant to meet those people for a reason, and they can really help you in the long run. So definitely ask for help if you need it, no matter what sort of help you need.